Welcome to the Global Experience. We explore the intersection of transformation and innovation with customer service and collections and the evolving world of customer and employee experience. Join keynote speakers, industry mavericks, CX and debt collections experts and influencers as we uncover what's shaping the future. Let's get into it. Welcome to the special edition of the Global Experience. This month we're celebrating Women's Month and the inspirational leaders we get to encounter every day. Today, we're joined by Wanda Mills, Senior Director of Global Partner Delivery at LiveOps, formerly Senior Director of Operational Excellence at LivePerson. Wanda, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bryce. Thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. And I must say, Senior Director and the word live seem to have quite something in common with your companies at the moment.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic that they both start with the word live, but I think it also just kind of speaks to the fact that that's how I live my life, with a lot of energy and a lot of go forward and, try to figure it out and not ready to sit down and be quiet just yet.
I love that. But you were at LivePerson for over 10 years, recently joined LiveOps, but in both of those companies, you are holding very senior leadership positions. I'm sure it wasn't always like that. What was your recipe for getting to where you are today?
Well, that's a great question because it's been quite the journey, honestly. I started out years ago as a chat agent, worked my way in through operations, landed an opportunity to run a contact center in Jamaica, and ended up getting hired with LivePerson directly to deliver outcomes-based programs. And I tell you, it wasn't a perfect roadmap, to be honest with you. It was a lot of test and learn, fail and succeed. But honestly, I think when I was in the height of kind of understanding working with agents and understanding really with working with adult learners and people in general, it boiled down to a simple concept around just know what I know. I had to learn a lot. I take the time to study and pay attention. And I think one of the key tenets is knowledge builds confidence. If you are really well educated in what you're trying to learn and accomplish, and you are successful in delivering some results in that, you can confidently speak about it. And I have found over the years that confidence kind of manifests itself into opportunities where you get a little bit bolder each time and a little bit more aggressive each time. And you think, okay, can I take this next step and can I move into this next arena? And my management style years ago was way different than my management style is today, or my leadership style even. I don't even necessarily consider myself a leader, but I think about how other women that have influenced my journey along the way kind of led into this story as well. At points in my life where I thought, is this it? Have I reached the pinnacle of my career? But there have been people that have come alongside, particularly women have come alongside who've said, hey, simple things like go home, do your resume, put your accomplishments on paper, read what it looks like. And when I did that for the first time in years, I was like, oh, I'm actually pretty good at what I do. And those opportunities opened into other opportunities. I had one boss or one manager at one time. She was kind of adversarial in nature. She really, I think we had a little bit of a personality conflict until she realized that I had strengths inside me that would help her look good in her job. And that's where I started really feeling like, my role, senior director, is it's a good title. It's a great title, but really, I do really good to make other people look good. And I think that's the keys to my happiness, to be honest with you. If I make my boss look good, I'm doing good. If I make the company look good, then I'm doing good. That's the tenet in which I've propelled myself forward. But there was one particular woman that really took an extra shot at me. She really wanted to give me an opportunity. And I asked for it. I was like, I want to apply for this job. And she's like, do you think you're ready? And I said, well, I think I'm ready. I hope I'm ready. And she put me up against a panel interview, and I was up against some really strong competition. But the fact that she gave me the opportunity to at least apply is really what changed the trajectory of the last several years for me. And I won the spot, and I won it square and fair and across the board. I had to create decks. I had to present, value propositions. I had to think about the numbers. I had to have a plan, all of these things. And that, again, instead of feeling intimidated by growth, I learned with a few key people in my life saying, go for it, go for it, go for it. Yes, you can do this. I think that's really where I ended up today. If I had stayed a little bit further back and said, I'm not qualified, or I'm not ready, or I'm not able, or whatever that looks like, I don't think I would have ever gotten there, except for these women that came alongside that says, yes, you can do this. Yes, you can go for this. And I've taken that learning, to be honest with you, and I hope, I like to believe that I help others in that same capacity, where I see young talent come along and maybe they make a mistake. Okay, let's talk through that mistake. How can we turn that mistake into an opportunity? How can we grow and develop from that? We've all made our mistakes. We've all had our on mic moments where you wished your mic was off and it wasn't off. And I think a lot of us go through life thinking that those are those devastating moments, but it's really not. So I like to hope to believe that I have taken others along the journey with me to say, hey, somebody put a hand out and helped me move up. I want to do the same thing. I mean, I as of yesterday, just became a great grandma. So that's exciting.
Congrats.
I'm at the end of my career. I'm at the end of what I hope is the next, not end in terms of tomorrow, but I hope another 5 to 10 years of working. I'm at the tail end, but I want to see all the young talent that's coming up, and all the moms who raised their kids that decided to get back busy in the workforce. I want to see them move forward and spend the next 20 to 30 years of their journey being successful. But I think, you asked an interesting question. How did I get here? How to work? It took a lot of people helping me develop me in order for me to get where I'm at today. I didn't wake up magically one day and say, success is my target. I like to share too that my career didn't hit my stride until I was 50. I was not hitting my stride in my 20s and 30s. I was raising 4 children, and I was freelancing. I was doing work, but I wanted to put my priority on my kids. So I hit 50, and these right people in my life saw potential and really just championed me. And I think that's keys to a lot of people's success. And I think you have to remember that it takes a lot of people and a lot of effort to see one person grow and develop into something that's, worth modeling later on in life. I hope so. I hope to leave a legacy behind me. But that's kind of how I feel about how I got to where I'm at today.
Well, so there are a couple of things in there that I'd love for us to dig a little deeper on. First things first, I love the analogy or metaphor you use in terms of the knowledge being confidence.
Yes.
And I think that applies to absolutely anyone, but it's such an important thing. The more you know about a certain topic, the more confident you are to speak on it. The more you are confident to put yourself into scenarios where that can further your career. So then that just speaks to continuous learning, continuous upskilling. And then the other thing, more a question, is you said your management / leadership style is different now to what it was, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years ago. How is it different?
Well, if you looked at my LinkedIn, I have my favorite quote up there that says, don't confuse efforts with results. And that was my leadership style back years ago. It's still a philosophy that I use in business. It's like you can put all the effort in, but if you're not showing results, what's the point? But my leadership style was really in tandem with that. Just get me results. And I didn't really care how people felt. I didn't really care how people thought. I was just like, we just need to get the job done and go. And boy, was it painful to learn some hard lessons out of that attitude. And I think, there were some humbling moments in there that said, hey, I need to take a step back, start to learn to listen, lean in, pay attention, understand why people react the way that they react. And once I did that, things started to change, and not because we weren't delivering results, but we were delivering collective results. I saw value in building up team members that ended up making me look good. Just like my philosophy is always make my boss look good, I started developing my team to make me look good. And that's what changed in how I feel today. Now I'm much more willing to sit and listen first, help create the plan as necessary, but allow people to be successful in their role so that I can be successful in mine instead of having to control and feel like, hey, everybody's got to do it my way or it's the highway type thing. So yeah, I'm way different than I used to be. I'm going to tell you some stories that probably make your hair turn gray, but I'm glad that I had that evolution in my methodology, because I don't think I would be here today if it wasn't for me
Yeah.
recognizing my own areas of opportunity to say, hey, I got to change who I am, start to become more like the women in particular that helped me get to the roles that I got to, and listen, learn, lead in a manner that's worthy of people following.
And I think what you said about you had a lot of women around you that were telling you to back yourself, to be confident because you know what you're doing and you're good at what you do, and put your accomplishments onto paper and see how far you've come. I think that speaks to having a really good network and a good community of people around you, because it's not a game that any of us can win by ourselves. I think it is that network and community winning together, right?
100%. You know, people think often that their decisions are their own decisions and it only impacts them. But we are rarely an island unto ourselves. We impact people even though we don't know that we're impacting people. And when you surround yourself by people who care about you, who care about your success, who are success driven themselves, who demonstrate integrity in what they do, the next thing you know, you feel like you're being elevated in that whole experience. And it's not like, it almost sounds like you're using people to get ahead. It's not that case at all. Because if you don't have that transparency and that ability to be real to the people who are in your network, who care about you enough to say, hey, you've crossed a line, or hey, you need to improve in this area, or hey, let's think about how we can say things differently, you're missing the boat, because my decisions impact my family. They impact the people that I work with. They impact you, and how we do business together, or potentially, we'll be working together. Everything that I do is not just impactful to me. And I think, to your point, having the community of people, and your communities change over time too, by the way. I don't think that you're ever set in one community. I think that creates stagnation, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But your community changes and evolves over time. The friends that I have today are not necessarily the same friends I had when I was in my 20s. The people that I looked up to in my 20s are not the same people I look up to today. I think that that's important to understand, that there's an evolutionary move throughout your life. I like to call there's different seasons for different reasons. You go through different seasons. You have a different set of people around you. You have a different need to be fulfilled at that time. And I think that's what makes all the difference in the world, is not just being so honed in on particular things. It's trying new things, being exposed to new people, stepping out of your comfort zone and seeing what's out there. And some of the best friends that I have are people that I would have never in my entire life thought we would have ever been friends 30 years ago.
And you'd also spoken about like new women moving into the workforce and what you'd like to see. What would you like to see from new women moving into the workforce, and any advice you'd want to give them?
Well, I think it's interesting to watch young women today who are so eager and anxious to learn, and some of the barriers that I felt 40 years ago are no longer there, and seeing how they navigate that. And when I have a young person, when I say young, anybody that's younger than me is younger than me. But when I have someone who approaches me and says, hey, I want help, or I want your advice, I think that that's a mark of maturity. I think that's a mark of them saying, hey, I really want to learn. And our job, my job, women of my age, our responsibility is to take that, not take it as a threat, not take it somebody's after my job, not take it that, there's not a place in the workforce for young talent. There absolutely is. And I would rather spend and invest my time in young talent that wants to grow and become the next best version of me. That's really ultimately what I want to see, is not somebody who wants to come along and be smarter or better just because they're younger than I am, but to be curious enough to want to explore and to discuss and to take advice and to take leadership direction. Those, I mean, the future of our everything is built on not only just young women, but young men that are coming up into the workplace. And how can we best support them? I'm looking for the anxious and the curious and the eager and everything else. I will tell you that when I was young, I never expected, what's the word I'm looking for? I never expected opportunity to just land at my feet. I knew that I had to work hard to get there. And I think there's a little bit of twist on that happening these days where there's an expectation that you're going to move ahead. But it comes with a lot of hard work. And I think the women that I work with, even now here at Live Ops, there's a lot of young women that work here, impressive people, articulate and smart and just so tuned into their job and their responsibilities. Those are the folks I want to hang out with because I learn from them just as much as they learn from me. And I think that's what I'm interested in seeing our workforce movement to stay curious, stay engaged, be looking, be on the lookout, listen, lean in. There's so much information out there too. I think discernment is key as well. You have to understand who you want to follow and why you want to follow them. Who do you want to learn from? How are you going to benefit from that? But be open. I've watched my own daughters, overcome their own obstacles in life and grow and mature and develop in such a way. And there have been key women in their lives and key men in their lives that help them get through certain seasons again. That have helped them. I can see in 20 years when I'm long gone, they're going to continue to propel in their careers and with their families and whatnot. So,
Wanda, thank you. I'm hearing you speak a lot about education, about knowledge. You speak about confidence. You speak about asking for advice, not being too confident or overconfident to think that you can do everything yourself. I'm hearing have a community, but also ensure that that community changes over time as you grow and as you change. So I'm hearing a lot of really, really good stuff. So thank you so much for sharing some of your wisdom with us today. I think you're an inspiration for me. I'm not a woman, but you can still inspire me. I look forward to doing a lot more work with you going forward. And again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bryce. Thanks for having me.
You've been listening to The Global Experience. Conversations that connect innovation, strategy, and transformation across customer service, collections, and experience. Stay inspired, stay customer-centric, and keep driving the change that matters. Until next time, this has been The Global Experience.